All right, today, August the 27th, laugh or cry. The quotation is Heraclitus would shed tears whenever he went out in public. Democritus laughed. Maybe they're brothers. One saw the whole world as a parade of miseries, the other of follies. And so we should take a lighter view of things and bear them with an easy spirit, for it is more human to laugh at life than to lament it. This comes from Seneca on Tranquility of Mind 15.2. The musing is, in this observation, the origin of that famous expression about frustrating news. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. The Stoics saw little purpose in getting angry or sad about things that are indifferent to our feelings, especially when those feelings end up making us feel worse. It's also another bit of evidence that the Stoics were hardly some depressing, bitter group. Even when things were really bad, when the world made them want to weep in despair or rage, they chose to laugh about it. Like Democritus, we can make that same choice. There is more humor than hate to be found in just about every situation. And at least humor is productive, making things less heavy, not more so. This reminds me of a quote by another philosopher, Arthur Schopenhauer, who says, the life of every individual, viewed as a whole and in general, and when only its most significant features are emphasized, is really a tragedy. But gone through in detail, it has the character of a comedy. I've always loved that quote. I think there's a few things that we can learn from both the quote that I just read as well as the quotation from the book. And I think that oftentimes, specifically when things that are bad happen to us, we get so consumed by the feelings or by what we're going through in that moment that we forget that if we just zoom out a little bit, whether that's a few weeks, a few months, definitely in most cases a few years, whatever we're going through actually will be of so little importance and will be so meaningless and is taking up so much of our time, our energy, our emotion in many cases, which is fair, right? We're humans and we emote as humans. And things that go on in our lives inevitably do become all-encompassing for us because our lives are all-encompassing for us. But I think at those times where we are being consumed by things where we, maybe want to cry instead of laugh, it's also a really good time to try and get perspective, and to try to actually get yourself out of your own little world, your own little bubble, your own all-encompassing life. There's been some times when I've been faced with, less than pleasant things. And one interesting thing that I found in one of the latest times when I was feeling down is that if you, out in public or with people that you meet, whether you know them or not, actually extend kindness to them. And it doesn't need to be a big act of kindness. It can be simply a smile or, holding a door open or helping someone with something, for 5 seconds. It may make their day. If it doesn't make their day, it will brighten their day almost for sure. But an interesting thing that you will realize that will happen, and which I realized happened, is that it brightens your day. And it's something that costs nothing, and it's something that doesn't take any time, takes very little effort, and it's just like a net positive impact on both the person that you've performed this act of kindness to or extended this act of kindness to, and to yourself. And they will probably, pay it forward, as we always hear, with acts of kindness. I realize this is a bit of a tangent, but I think we can reel it into, look, when we're faced with hardship, right, there's always options. The Stoics always say that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control the response. And we can always control our responses, and it's not easy to control our responses sometimes. And I think when less than desirable things happen to us, we do need to also, feel the feelings. That's what many people sometimes have told me in the past, which can also be difficult. But when you can feel those feelings and put it into perspective, and I think perspective is a key point here, right? Because you can be consumed by emotion, or you can feel emotion, but I think it's somewhat key not to be too consumed by it, right? Like it can pass through. You can, again, cry for a few days or whatever, a few weeks, I don't know, depending on the situation. Um, but it's key to try and gain perspective from whatever's happening to you, and try to see, hey, like, yeah, this sucks right now, but what can I actually learn from this, and what lessons can I take from this situation and apply to my, to other situations, or also what can I learn from this situation that I can apply to other situations and catch before, things go to shit, for example. Um, but yes, I think all in all, we cannot always, I think it's unreasonable to say, hey, choose always to laugh, not to cry, if, I don't know, we have like something severe happening to you, or someone that you love. But I think that there's always a degree of perspective that can be applied to most situations. And even when you're going through negative or undesirable or unfortunate circumstances, you can still mourn or grieve or whatever feelings you might be going through, while simultaneously gaining perspective or gaining lessons from that pain, which can be used after, once that initial pain of the current circumstances, um, you know, pass, essentially, because time tends to heal most things in life. Yes, so once more, laugh or cry. Heraclitus, strange name, would shed tears whenever he went out in public. Democritus laughed. One saw the whole world as a parade of miseries, the other of follies. And so we should take a lighter view of things and bear them with an easy spirit, for it is more human to laugh at life than to lament it. Nice.